People are so focused on becoming the thing that they don't become the thing, or they don't do what they're supposed to. Like, people are like, oh, I want a six-pack, but they don't go to the gym. Or people are like, oh, I want to be ripped, but they don't eat healthy. Or people are like, I want to grow my business, but they spend no time doing it. And you're just constantly watching other people do your dreams because you're not setting boundaries. Hello, you guys, and welcome back. My name is Jasmine.
My name is Matthew Cohn.
And this is the 1% Better Everyday podcast. So today we actually wanted to talk about the negative side effects of social media and everyday life, I guess, or just like as an entrepreneur. We did want to give a special shout out to our subscriber, Self-Develop. They actually commented on one of our reels on Instagram, and they said something like, love this video, and they were pertaining back to, if I can find it, I'll put it in here somewhere, but if not, just go follow us on Instagram. It is 1% Better Every Day. Let me make sure that's right. But how was your week?
Week was amazing. We started a new month. Shout out to November. We are finally here. 2 months left of the year. You so focus on wrapping up the year, but you also got to realize you still got to attack your goals, and you seeing all the people around you that's ready to close out the year, or they like scramble. So.
Mm-hmm. So you guys can follow us on Instagram at 1% spelled out Better Everyday Pod. But yeah, my week was pretty good too. I would say that this is, I don't know about you, but I feel like this is the most focused I've ever been in my business, because I feel like, for a while there, we were just so focused on other people's brands that we didn't, at least I kind of fell from focusing 100% of my energy on my brand, but now I'm just getting that time and energy back, and it just felt good to get updated on my YouTube videos and all that stuff. But
yeah.
Are you a service-based entrepreneur that provides some kind of service, but you don't know how to create content in order to convert someone from following you into a paying client? I'm going to tell you exactly what to post in order to start generating more leads, attract high-paying clients, and get more DMs than you can possibly answer. I will help you how to find your niche, how to find your target audience, and craft offers that will attract top buyers every time you go to make a post. Text me content to 513-516-7332 to learn more on how you can get mentored by me for only $99 a month. Anyways, we wanted to start off with talking about the negative side effects of social media on privacy, because that was something that even with some of my clients that we have talked about, or a lot of people just have like a different perspective on it. But for social media, I guess my stance on it, or my opinion, is I'm only going to show what I'm comfortable with, but at the same time, like, why lie about something? So might as well just be transparent.
Who do you think that affects the most, social media wise? I feel like it's entrepreneurs and business owners, because we have to be on there all the time because we're looking for leads.
I think it affects everybody.
Not if you're on there. Like, before I started my business, I didn't even have social media. Like, if I didn't have a business, I would delete all the apps. I wouldn't even be on social media if I didn't have a business. And it affects...
I don't think so. You're still on YouTube.
But, no, I wasn't posting no videos. Talking about before I started a business, I had all my stuff deleted. Like, I had deactivated my Facebook. I deactivated the Twitter I deactivated my Instagram. I didn't have nothing before I started the business. Mm-hmm. Only reason why I was on social media is because of business. If I didn't have a business, or I was working like a regular 9 to 5 that didn't have anything to do with content creation or media, I would not be on social media. Mm-hmm. And it's only affecting you if you own it. Like, kids nowadays are on it all the time because it's affecting which means it's affecting them directly and affecting them. Business owners are on there all the time, so it's affecting us. But if you're not on it, it's not affecting you.
Yeah, but yeah, you can also control how you let it affect you, because like for us, like I know when we post, like I have a specific time limit, and I try to be on there like at least 1 to 2 hours a day, because you do still have to do some kind of like cold outreach, or just like outreach to your people on your socials. Yeah. But I think just like limiting yourself, because I think a lot of people, what they do is they get on social media and they go to post, or we all become distracted, but then they just spend hours and hours scrolling. And that's when you let it affect you. Also, like a habit to incorporate into your life.
Yeah, but what specifically?
Is not getting on your phone as soon as you wake up, because I know like I still do that every now and then, because as an entrepreneur, you're so like eager to check, did you get any messages, or did anybody reach out to you? But I have noticed that when I make a difference in the morning and I don't get on my phone, like the first 2 to 3 hours in the day, I start my day more calm and I'm not like as anxious, just worrying about like, oh, all these messages that I got to respond to, or like you have to take care of yourself first before you take care of the world.
Yeah, you talked about it affecting you, but why is it affecting people?
Because again, people are scrolling, and when you get on your phone first thing in the morning and you're social media, you're watching other people's lives instead of focusing on your own, on how you can make it better. Like people are so focused on
Other people.
I think you said it a couple months ago, but people are so focused on becoming the thing that they don't become the thing, or they don't do what they're supposed to. Like people are like, oh, I want a six pack, but they don't go to the gym. Or people are like, oh, I want to be ripped, but they don't eat healthy. Or people are like, I want to grow my business, but they spend no time doing it. And you're just constantly watching other people do your dreams because you're not setting boundaries or limits.
Yeah, you're not limiting yourself on social media. So when you start doing that, you start comparing yourself to other people. And what they say, comparison is the thief of joy. So it's like if you're not accomplishing your goals, is how easy is it to be happy for other people?
Yeah. And also, like, just being grateful for what you have. I know, like, a lot of people, hate to hear it, but journaling really has helped me. And it's just a difference. Like, when you wake up in the morning and you're intentional, or you write down, like, what are you grateful for? It almost kind of just takes away anything in your mind from, like, what is that person doing that I'm not doing? And then when you go to social media, you're more eager to clap for others because you know what your goals are, you know what your focus is for the day. So you're clapping for others because you intentionally want them to win. Yeah. Like even today, I told you, like, did you sit down, or did you at least make an effort to see, like, what did you appreciate today? Because it does make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. And you should be waking up like that every day too, just being appreciative that you're waking up as well. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, it's when people don't take the action for that thing that they want to do or that thing they want to accomplish, they lack that confidence. They're not building any confidence towards achieving that goal because they seeing everybody else's lives, and they're like, because all this shit is fake anyway. So when you don't execute on your dreams and you just constantly scrolling on social media, you become depressed and lack of confidence when you actually want to go out in the real world and do something. Yeah.
And I'm also like, I've noticed like a change in my behavior or just a change in my attitude when I'm on my phone too long, because you're just scrolling and scrolling. And it's almost like after that, you kind of get in a bad mood because you're like, oh, like all these things that I haven't done, but you're sitting there scrolling. And it goes back to show, like, people are just so focused on like, what are other people doing, that if you just spend 5% focusing on what you're doing, like it would take you so much further in life.
Mm-hmm. What were the three categories, right?
So privacy, mental health issues, like how do you think that affects people's mental health issues?
Let's start with privacy.
We already did privacy.
No, I don't think I talked about privacy. Yeah. Privacy, again, piggybacking off of what you said, was you only have to show what you want to show. You don't have to show everything. Like you were saying, one of your clients was like afraid to show something. And people are going to judge you like whether or not you're going to put something out there, or if you're not put something out there. And if people are not judging you, that means you're not catching people's attention anyway. So again, that comes back to what you post is only what you post and only what people are going to see. They're not going to see the full story. People tend to show too much on social media, and then they get slack for it, and then they get like mad, or they get depressed or whatever because of people's
outside
feedback
factors. Yeah.
But it's like that's a private moment that you had of yours, and you decided to post it on social media. So not everything has to go on social media, guys. Remember that. Not everything has to go on there.
Yeah. And a lot of it is perspective, because I just noticed that when people say that they don't want to share certain things, it's usually because they don't want to hear what other people have to say about the situation, or they just don't want to hear outside noise, which is fine. Like, you don't have to share everything. Like, one of my friends or one of my clients recently said, like, I don't want to share my face. And I told her, I was like, you can definitely do faceless reels or like faceless content. But again, it goes back to, marketing psychology. People nowadays are connected to other human beings. So yes, you're going to be able to grow a brand. But at the end of the day, what's going to separate you is that people want to get to know you. Like, people want to get to know who you are, and people just want to be connected to you as if they were a friend.
Absolutely, 1,000%. Again, like I was telling people on our calls, people want to do business with other people, not businesses. So
yeah, but again, going back to like the mental health issues, I think that this is just something that has worked for me. When you start your day just focusing on yourself and focusing on your own goals and focusing on like how is today going to again get 1% better every day, or how are you going to improve your life? I would just at least 1% better today, even just by you eating a healthier breakfast, or just you by creating that piece of content, or you posting that one post a day. Like at the end of the day, it's your journey against yourself. And I think when you go on social media, like people just start to get in their heads, or they're like, oh, am I behind? Because again, it goes back to that comparison route of like, how old are they? And then you start to say like, oh, well, that person is that age. Like, how come I'm not there? And again, everybody's journey is different.
Yeah, especially when you're wanting to achieve goals and you feel like you like not hitting it. And you're like, well, that person did that. I'm like, man, you have no idea what that person's journey was outside of social media. Because again, like I said before, you only gonna see what you want to see, but you don't know what that person went through to get there. You don't know if that person cheated their way there. You don't know if that person like struggled to get there. Like you have no idea what that journey was like outside of social media.
Yeah, and if it helps, like go to therapy, because I know some people need like a therapist and they need to talk to somebody, but at the end of the day, it just goes back to like, what do you feel like you need, whether you need to set a timer, whether you need to talk to somebody, whether maybe you just need somebody else to post your social media for you and you shouldn't even be on your phone. You have to find just what works for you, because one thing that I've just learned when it comes to mental health and social media is at the end of the day, I think that people are also scared to get on social media because they're scared of people's perceptions or what people, again, it has nothing to do with comparison, but it goes back to they're scared of what is somebody going to say, or just like the story that somebody else is going to create in their head. At the end of the day, if you're worried about that, I know if you're worried about that, then you're worried about the wrong things, because anybody can make up a story in their head. Anybody can make up a lie about you. Anybody can just make up this narrative in their head that is not true about you, and you're never going to be able to change that. So I think that over the years, you also just kind of build thick skin, because a lot of people always ask us, like, how are you guys doing content? Like, how are you guys getting on social media, like, all the time? And again, it's just second nature to me now for Matt to turn on the camera and just be like, okay, let's start recording, because we're so used to this. Like, we're doing it all the time. And going back to content, I think that really is what's missing in content nowadays is authenticity, because like you even say it all the time, like as soon as you turn the camera on, people start acting different.
Immediately. It's not, people not, and back to the mental health thing, people not serving themselves mentally and on a higher level as well. Like when people get on social media, they most of the time they're there for the entertainment, and the entertainment is not fulfilling their soul. It's just for like a quick like hit of dopamine or whatever. It's like a quick high. They get that excited for that one moment, but after that you feel down because you're not even self-serving yourself. Like you're not even providing what the soul needs. So
yeah, and you said something important, is that you said like sometimes people assume and they make up stories in their head. Like that's so true when it comes to social media. Like I remember, a couple months ago, me and my friend just had a little disagreement because she saw something on social media totally different and I saw something on social media totally different. So again, it just goes back to show that like social media at the end of the day is fake. Like it's just almost like a digital book that we're painting online. And so there's some people that will sit behind the couch and judge people that get on social media, and they're like, oh, like that's not even their life 24/7. They just constantly judge other people. And there's people like us that are content creators that we know not everything on social media is real, but it's just somebody's digital book, like it's somebody's digital magazine. And that's I feel like you always say this, but that's not our place to judge. Like everybody's journey is different, and I think if people just stop judging others and just focus on their own journey, their mental health would just be so much better.
Yeah, what do you be saying? Don't be a consumer. Be a what? Be a creator. Don't be a consumer. Or be a
I forget what the word
producer.
is.
Don't be a
Create, don't consume.
Yeah.
Matt, I need your help growing my social media audience.
All right, guys, if you need help growing your social media audience, make sure you text 602-390-7002. Once again, it's 602-390-7002.
But going back to the mental health, again, also this goes back to, like you've even talked about this, is developing your own identity, because I think that nowadays with social media, it's almost like
people don't know themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people that are growing up on social media don't know themselves, because all they've ever been used to is watching other people or watching something else. And it goes back to...
Or what's happening is the person is growing up being successful and famous at this one thing, and they have to repeat it simply because it garnered a lot of views or attention or garnered a lot of money, and that thing that they did to get money is not who they are. So they're like they're going this way. They're chasing the money because something that's really working well, but that's not who they really want to be. And that's another reason why it can cause people to be, mentally disturbed.
Yeah, that's true. You just have to ask yourself, like I was asking my brother the other day, but you have to ask yourself in your life, in that certain season, like, what do you prioritize more? Do you prioritize what you want and your feelings and what makes you feel good? Or do you prioritize what you need to do in order to get to your next level? Or,
For sure.
Do you prioritize money right now so that way you can get to the next level? Or do you prioritize learning and doing what you love? And so I had to ask him that. But
you should be asking yourself that every day too as well. Because that's a journey not only kids are going through, but adults are going through as well, because we're all trying to figure out what the next steps are in our life.
And going back to like how does it impact real life relationships? Again, I think that with social media, you just need to communicate a lot nowadays, because you can definitely make up a fake version of something in your head. And unfortunately, social media is fake, but a lot of people just take it to their heart, like near and dear.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I remember with social media, when I used to be just emotional about like little things, or how women are, we just pay way too much attention to social media. Like even with like vloggers nowadays, they pay attention to like who follows who unfollows what. Now I understand what Beyonce, like who is it, Beyonce and Future, they never get on Instagram. Like you will never know who they're following. But
yeah, people be in the wrong people's business. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Leave people alone.
But yeah, what other negative impact do you think it has on real life relationships?
Again, it's social media right now is the biggest impact on relationships, because it's shaping people's relationships on what they do, what they dictate, their lives. Like so many people are getting paid from social media. Because they're getting paid from social media, it dictates how they run their lives. And unfortunately, when you get an income from a specific source, you got to keep doing what that specific source is paying you to do, even though if it's not the way that you want to go or the route that you want to take. They're trapped. People are trapped right now, whether they like it or not. Because if social media is shut down right now, a lot of y'all will be fucked. Because y'all not educating people. Y'all not changing people's lives. Y'all just entertainment.
Yeah, and we say it with the business all the time. Like at the end of the day, if you're creating content, at least why we're creating content is because I always put content out there as if I'm helping somebody, as if somebody's seeing you for the first time, as if, somebody was in my place 3 years ago and they didn't know anything about social media. They didn't know anything about marketing. Like every day when I'm posting, I'm always thinking about that past version of myself. And it goes back to like, who are you creating content for? Like, are you creating content just for fun? Are you creating content for others? Are you creating content, if you want to tie it back to your purpose? Or maybe some people are just doing it for money. So, but we did start a hot topic segment last week. So every week at the end of the episode, we're going to go into a real question or just social media problem that people want to discuss when it comes to content, entrepreneurship, or lifestyle. And the hot topic for this week was somebody asked, hello, I have an interview for my first social media manager position next week and was wondering if anyone would be able to share some advice on how I could approach this interview.
Do you got experience? If you ain't got no experience, I want to take the interview.
Really?
Hell
Why?
Yeah. What help are you going to be to somebody if you ain't got no experience in that position? That don't even make any sense. Why would you be applying for a position you ain't got no experience in? That would be my first question.
Okay, that's true. They didn't say they had experience before. But I think if it was the first interview, well, first, you have to bring some kind of experience, whether that be practicing on your own accounts, practicing on family accounts, practicing on accounts that you did for free or you did for, whatever it was. Like, you need to have some kind of practice.
I treat interviews like you questioning or qualifying a customer. Like, if I'm coming into an interview, you want to get to know the company, get to know what their problems are, and just listen. The person is going to tell you, whoever you're talking to. Hopefully. Because 9 times out of 10, what I've been seeing is that we've been having interviews with people that have nothing to do with the department. and your goal is to talk to somebody that's within the department so you can understand what the department needs. And it's
That's
super
so
hard
true.
to do that. It's
Yeah.
so hard to do that.
Yeah, that's really true because sometimes I think that when these positions get replaced, it's usually because the person has either outgrown the role, and there's a whole other conversation, but they have either outgrown the role or there's just some kind of things that they have outgrown or they just don't like or something like that. And so you're so right that when you talk to the team, sometimes you get more insight in how you can make the department better. But again, that's like a high level conversation for somebody that's being a leader because most people don't even think like that.
Most people just be like,
But you want to have some kind of case studies, like you want to have some kind of proof. Because you have to think about like what is the interview for, which Matt kind of said, like the interview is there to get to know you and to see if you can do the job, and you're also interviewing them back.
Yeah.
So you should be getting to know, like, is this something that you're comfortable with? The money's great. I know you're getting.
You got to
paid.
convince
Like,
me that I want to work for you.
Yeah, I know.
Like-
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know they're going to get paid, and I know you're excited you're going to get paid. But then you have to think about, like, is it something that you're actually going to like to do? Because then when you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning and then, you're stressing about getting the job done, but the money's good, like, what are you going to be thinking? What are you going to be telling yourself at that point? So, and then he asked, what kind of questions can I expect? So I'm assuming this is their first one because they don't even know what kind of questions they're going to expect.
Just type in Google marketing or social media questions. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and just based off so many interviews that I've done with companies that are looking for a social media person, I would say the most important things that they ask you is to have proof, case studies, or just examples. And they just want to know that you can do the job, whether that be creating content, whether that be creating the writing, the copy, what specifically to the social media job can you do? Are you really good at posting? Are you really good at organization? Are you filming?
Most social media managers do multiple things. So what else are you going to need me to do besides whatever the question is?
That's a great question because some of these social media manager positions, like they just need you to post. That's it. And then there's some other companies that are like, nope, we need you to come film, come record, come edit.
And you're like, hold on, wait, that's a whole different, that's something else. Like, that's a whole ass content creator.
Yeah, my nose is burning. And maybe the next episode we can do boundaries when it comes to entrepreneurship. Because I know with entrepreneurship, it is hard to set boundaries. But that is pretty much it for today's podcast. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they said something really, really good. And I don't know how you feel about this. But they were saying that their podcasts are only 20 minutes because most people drive to places that are only 20 minutes. And so people can fast speed through the episode and they can just listen to it more quicker because people's attention span is getting shorter that they don't want to listen to long episodes anymore unless there's like a lot of brand loyalty. But what do you think?
20 to 30 minutes is good because people's drives are anywhere between 20 and 40 minutes a day on average. So.
But that is it for today's episode. Let us know down below what topic you guys would like to discuss about in the future. Again, my name is Jasmine.
My name is Matthew Cohn.
And this is the 1% Better Everyday podcast. You guys can listen to us on Anchor. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.